All right, here we go. Friday, Sportsbook betting insight today, June 22nd. Pauly and Teddy, I'm at Real Sportsbet. He's at Teddy_covers, SBR picks. And we got a big show coming up. Red Sox, Mariners, a good one, and big game breakdown, shot clock, team previews, and New Orleans Saints. Win total, 9.5. A lot to get to coming up. Draft recap. And it looks like Winston suspended 3 games. I got a great tweet to share with you coming up. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Let's start with a moose in the World Cup. A game that just finished. Costa Rica plus the goal and a half, 0-0 in added time. Brazil gets not 1 but 2 in added time, and they score. There was 6 minutes of added time. Brazil scores in the 97th minute. Neymar puts it home, 2-0 final. Draw was as high as 6-1. 0-0 in the 90th minute becomes a 2-0 final. The implications and the ramifications of that win. Imagine if Brazil only would have got out of there with 1 point. Unbelievable. They're as low as 3-1 here in Vegas to win the World Cup. They survive. Costa Rica out. What a match.
And what a brutal beat if you had Costa Rica plus a goal and a half. You know, it's one thing the 90th minute. It's another thing the 97th minute for the plus 1.5 to go down. I mean, that's a moose. That's a moose and a half. If you played Costa Rica, Brazil survives and advances.
Another one yesterday, Croatia and Argentina under 2.5. It was 0-0 at the half, and then Croatia explodes for 3 goals in the second half. They added one in the 80th minute and the 91st minute. Argentina thought it was offsides. They stopped playing. Croatia says, thank you very much. They bury it in the back of the goal, and it's the worst loss in a group stage match for Argentina since 1958. They are in a world of hurt, especially if Iceland wins coming up at 11 o'clock Pacific. Then you forget about it. Their chances are slim and none to advance.
Yeah, but again, we're talking about the beat here, which is the under 2.5, and you have no, scoreless game at the half. The 91st minute. We talked about the extra time. That's when the defenses are at their tiredest. That's when you sometimes get the cheap goals. Cheap goal here was a big difference maker for total better. Tough beat if you had the under.
This was Yankees, another vicious beat. Yankees, Seattle over 7.5. 4-2 in the top of the second. They get 4 off Paxton early. They didn't score the rest of the game, but Severino and the Yankees bullpen shut them down. 4-2 in the top of the second. Finishes 4-3. Stays under. 15 of the last 16 Yankee games have gone under the total.
And this one's just insane. I mean, I was watching the first inning, I'm like, okay, 4-2. This one's going over. It's flying over. And then zeros on the scoreboard, and another 0 on the scoreboard, and another scoreless inning, and another. When you have 6 of the 7.5 runs you need to go over the total by the top of the second inning, you're supposed to cash that ticket. Again, tough beat for which bettors, Pauly? Under bettors. This time it's over bettors that don't get the cash. That's the exception rather than the rule. For once, it's the over bettors who suffer a bad beat. That rarely happens.
Here in Vegas, some bad bets. Cubs 160 up to 180, lost 6-2. Hendricks at the near the bottom, and ROI gets beat again. They bet the worst team in baseball, the Orioles, 260 down to 240. They lost 4-2 as Scherzer gets the win. A 2 spot in the bottom of the 8th allows the Nats to cover the run line. Bad for the books. Rockies 130 up to 160. They take out the Mets 6-4. The Mets have lost 40 of 60 since they started 11-1. Red Sox and over, $1.15 up to 130. Total 8.5 up to 9. Avoided the sweep, beat the Twins. Porcello pitched well, and the Giants got us hurt our feelings. Play of the day loser. Mad Bum with a gem. 3-0 final. They beat the Friars.
Yeah, Mad Bum with a real gem last night, no question. Although Ross matched him for a good portion of that ball game, couldn't get it done in the latter stages. That being said, I mean, look at the bad bets from yesterday. The Cubs bet up big money. Cincy, wire-to-wire job. Impressive. The Reds all of a sudden have won 7 of their last 9. And the worst team there's some bad teams in baseball this year. But the worst of the bunch is this lifeless Baltimore Orioles squad. I know that it was another bullpen meltdown that cost them the run line bet. But Baltimore has been really bad. They're playing like a last place team that is way out of it before July 4th. Sometimes say, all right, these veteran teams, they're going to bring up some youngsters and play hard. I don't sense any of that for the Orioles right now. They've been dead nuts bet against all year. That didn't change yesterday, even though the wise guys were putting their money on Baltimore.
Going to be a fun August and September. 6 teams on pace to lose 100 games. Good tweet from Ross Tucker at Ross Tucker NFL. What's worse if you're a Tampa Bay fan? Your team drafted a QB #1 overall who had 4 separate incidents in 2.5 years of college, or he isn't getting better, and the team was 3-10 with him and 2-1 with Fitzpatrick last year. According to reports, he's out the first 3 games of the season for the Buccaneers, and we'll do their team preview next week.
Yeah, I mean, certainly when you talk about the betting markets, they're going to react pretty strongly to this Jameis Winston suspension. But how much does it really matter? Is the drop-off that great? We are talking about a former #1 overall draft choice, a guy who was supposed to be all that. He hasn't been at that level at any point in his career in Tampa. We've shown signs, certainly not level of any consistency. 3-game suspension. Heck, the beat writers are calling for the guy to get cut.
I saw that.
Total.
Yeah.
That would change it fairly significantly.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. Draft recap. The steam gets there. Steam offshore on Grayson Allen under. DiVincenzo under. Ayton to go #1. That blew up. That was good information. 2 weeks ago, the Suns told them they're taking him, and that blew up offshore. Trey Young under. All those props cashed. Bagley. Boy, shop around the amount of money you could make. Bagley under 3.5 -$6. How about at BetDSI 2 days ago? Bagley was under 2.5 plus 2-1.
Sure. I mean, again, the limits are low on these props. You're not getting down 5 dimes on some, prop wager on the NFL draft. But you got good information. Clearly, this year's one year where the rumors were right. Now, when you talk about how do we assess teams after the draft, and I'll tell you what, everyone had a great draft. All the players are going to be stars. And you look back in 5 years and 8 out of 10, 8 of the top 10 picks are busts. That's just the nature of the NBA draft. Even the best talent evaluators in the world, they're right less than half the time. That being said, there's a couple teams that really impressed me. The Nuggets futures deserve to be priced at a different level. Bringing in Michael Porter. You think about a lineup with Michael Porter, Gary Harris, and Millsap and Joker and Jamal Murray. That's a lineup that can compete for a championship from a talent level. The Celtics get a really tough kid in Robert Williams. The Warriors get the toughest kid of the bunch in Jacob Evans. Talk about 2 teams at the bottom of the first round getting impact guys. And the Magic. I'm like, Bamba's going to be the impact player of the draft. Not in Orlando, he's not. Who's he got in front of him? Vucevic and Aaron Gordon and Bismarck Biyombo and Jonathan Isaac and Maurice Spates and Kem Birch. That's the most crowded front court in the NBA. I have no idea what the Orlando Magic are doing. In the meantime, they hurt my guy. By the way, Orlando didn't even have a starter quality point guard on their roster. DJ Augustine and Shelvin Mack, the only 2 point guards signed. Yet they went with another big man. I'm assuming they're going to make a deal somewhere down the line.
Hey, Skip, a team that didn't make the playoffs and added a guy who played 3 games in college is a title contender now and can't play any defense?
Contender. All right, I'm exaggerating on the title contender. I like the upside of the Denver Nuggets. I really do. That's what I'll say. Yeah, a little hyperbole never hurt. But down the line, that is a potential championship contending roster. It is. Potential.
Well, I think there's a reason he fell to 14. I think there's some serious issues about the health. Integrity fees, royalty fees. Give me a break. A new leader in the clubhouse here with the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is an absolute disgrace what one of their owners said.
Well, it's beautiful, man. Okay. It'd be beautiful if it wasn't scary. All right. Let me just read the press release quote, okay? Without professional sports, there can be no professional sports betting. Providing a professional sports product is a costly endeavor. While our landlord is responsible for capital repair and improvements at PNC Park, the Pirates are responsible for maintenance and operational expenses at PNC Park, which has consistently been named the premier ballpark in the country. The capital needs at PNC Park are significant and unfortunately are much higher than the current funds allocated to them by their landlord. What is this? It is a cash grab by the Pittsburgh Pirates trying to rebuild, and not rebuild their stadium, to refurbish their stadium, to maintain and operate their stadium. It's ridiculous. And if this kind of crap is going to get through state legislatures, enjoy your legalized sports betting, because no one's going to be betting at the books because the -110 is not going to last. It's nonsense. It's bullshit. And I'm not in favor, clearly, as we talk about it on a Friday morning.
Not going to happen, so that's good. Other than maybe New York, who continues to screw up a cup of coffee. New Jersey said no. Delaware said no. Rhode Island, no way. Mississippi, no way. So far, so good, although New York looks like they might be headed to a royalty fee.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.